There are great moments in the UFC, and then there are 1 in a million moments. Care to know what the difference is? Then stay tuned to learn more about the most unusual and crazy moments in the sport. Number 5. Demetrious Johnson's suplex armbar combo. If you did this in a video game, you would probably laugh at how fake and unrealistic it was. And Johnson did it in real life. You call it art in motion. Notice how fluently he transitions through his movements. As Mighty Mouse stood behind Borg at UFC 216, he locked in a rear body lock and lifted Borg high into the air with a suplex. While Borg was flying through the air, Mighty Mouse released his grip on Borg's waist and swiftly wrapped his arms around Borg's flailing left arm. Before Borg even hit the mat, Mighty Mouse swung his legs over Borg's torso, securing an armbar. Despite Borg's resistance, Johnson extended his trapped arm, causing immense pain until Borg had no choice but to tap out. His suplex was perfect. He exerted just enough energy to get him off the ground and let gravity do the rest while he positioned himself for the armbar. It's a genius move that the UFC has never seen before. There were 1,000 words in the action, a history of training and struggles on both sides. It ended in tragedy for one and success for the other. Number 4. Leoto Machida's crane kick. The crane kick by Leoto Machida is the move that launched him into the limelight. When Machida was scheduled to face Randy Couture, he was on a 2-fight losing streak and desperately needed a win. When the two fighters finally met at the UFC 129, Machida pulled off a crane kick from the 1984 Karate Kid movie. Couture raised his right hand first because Machida pumped with his left leg. Usually, when you see the leg pickup like that, it is a left head kick, so you have to block with your right hand. Then Machida drops his left leg and raises his right. Now Couture thinks it's a right head kick, so he moves his left arm up and to the side to block what he thinks is a right head kick, only to be hit up the middle because both components are to the side. Keep in mind, this is all happening faster than people can react. The person throwing the combo is faster than your reaction to it, so you have to anticipate what's coming. If you guess right, you are fine. If you think wrong, this happens. The funny thing about these moves is that they only work against very high-level opponents, as lower-level opponents won't read the pump and therefore wouldn't be fooled by it. So there are layers to these mind games. Calling all boxing enthusiasts. Join the top online boxing school today for personalized, expert training. Access an exclusive library of hand-picked boxing secrets, get personalized video requests, and dive into advanced boxing techniques. Progress at your own pace, boost skills, confidence, and connect with a positive community of fighters and experts. Don't miss out. Click the link below. Number 3. Jessica Andrade's standing arm triangle choke. An arm triangle is when you have your head and arm trapped. So the shoulder of the arm trapped is choking you on one side, and the other by the opponent's arm. In April 2022, Andrade pulled off a standing arm triangle choke against Amanda Lemos, something that had never been seen in UFC. At the start of the fight, Lemos showcased an impressive punching power that could only be compared to fighters like Zhang Weili. However, Andrade's strength gave her the upper hand. Andrade ducked under a wild swing from Lemos, hooking her left arm around Lemos's head to trap one of her foe's arms. Andrade used her strength to push Lemos to the fence before taking hold of her bicep in a rear naked choke grip. As Andrade was choking out Lemos, she collapsed, and Andrade became the winner via a standing arm triangle choke. We don't see this type of finish often because it is not easy to carry out. Andrade did well by hooking her legs, so Lemos couldn't frame her, but Andrade is also known for being extremely strong. Number 2, Gary Goodridge's brutal crucifix with elbows. Gary Goodridge's run in the UFC was full of ups and downs. Although he never enjoyed a consistent win streak, Goodridge is famous for his fight with Paul Herrera. The bout was Goodridge's debut fight in the UFC, and it ended in just 13 seconds. Immediately the bell went off and Herrera went for a takedown. Goodridge responded by countering the move and got Herrera on his back. Herrera's attempt to get back up was futile, as Goodridge kept him on the mat with his weight. Goodridge was now beneath Herrera, but he still had the advantage. From the floor, he trapped Herrera's right arm with his legs. Goodridge also used his arms to hook Herrera's left arm. There was no way that Herrera could defend himself. Goodridge then delivered multiple elbows on his opponent's face. Herrera quickly became unconscious. The crucifix elbows delivered to Paul Herrera are etched in the memories of many UFC fans as one of the most brutal moments in the sport's history. You'd think Herrera might have suffered long-term effects from that night, but it's a surprising twist. Gary Goodridge, the one delivering those devastating blows, later developed chronic traumatic encephalopathy, CTE, also known as punch-drunk syndrome, due to his martial arts career. Interestingly, Paul Herrera has connections in the MMA world beyond being on the receiving end of those elbows. He played a part in introducing one of the most influential fighters, Tito Ortiz, to the MMA community. Number 1. Frank Mirs' inside shoulder lock. Frank Mirs' submission is always the first to come to mind whenever we think of legendary creativity. It all happened before Mir ever became the champion. At the start of Mir's career, he displayed an exceptional grappling skill that had not been seen before. Mir faced Pete Williams for his 4th bout, and the fight proceeded for a while on their feet. Before long, the battle was taken to the ground with Mir on top. However, in a swift move, while Williams was on top, Mir managed to hook his arm under his opponent's. Mir clasped his hands together and started to put significant pressure on the inside of his opponent's shoulder. In an attempt to stand and adjust to the angle Mir created, Williams found himself trapped by the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt, who wisely wrapped his right leg around Williams' left. Unable to regain his footing, Williams had no choice but to tap out. This unusual and nameless maneuver forced Williams to submit in just 46 seconds. It remains the only occurrence of its kind in the UFC, as no other fighter has managed to replicate this unique inside shoulder lock submission. Executing the shoulder lock demands a significant amount of upper body strength for maximum effectiveness. The ideal scenario for this move is when your opponent is on your guard and places their arms on your chest, setting up the submission perfectly. Interestingly, one of the less commonly used tactics among top guard players is the act of pulling guard, a move that Frank Mir employed successfully. He employed this strategy in his fight against Pete Williams. Which of these 1 in 1 million moments is your favorite? Share your thoughts in the comments section below. If you enjoyed watching this video, you would want to check out our next 2 videos.